desire, especially when a relationship is not working. And I am not an expert in relationships, but I've lived long enough to know what works and what does not work. And one of the things that I have personally experimented with is having sex every single day. And I know that's like, to a lot of women, like, oh, every single day. Yes, I was that woman. Every single day seemed like a chore. But when you begin that process, then you'll realize that over time, it gets better, and then it gets better. You actually begin to feel happier within the relationship. You're not as picky about everything. You're not as nagging. It actually gets better. And I did that experiment, and I had my girlfriends did an experiment. And in every single case, it worked. Because men are really sexual beings, and some men, that's their love language. But I do think it brings two people closer together, and it eliminates the pettiness. You're not as petty about small, you don't sweat the small stuff when you begin to have sex every single day. And it really begins to mend the marriage. It's almost the easiest medicine for a poor marriage or a poor relationship. Begin having sex every day. Try it for 30 days and see the results. Another thing too is with men needs respect. And we tend to, as women, to disrespect our man in all different manners. It can be simply to interrupt him every time he's speaking. It could be simply to not trust him with the kids. It could be simply not to trust him with changing the diaper or to buy groceries. Just little things that we subtly say that you are incompetent, that you are incapable, that you cannot do things for me, that you really cannot make me happy, because if he can't do those little things, then what can he do? But yet when he's in the workforce or when he's around his friends, he is respected. But when he comes home, it's a plague of disrespect. So we have to be mindful of respecting our man, because disrespect will ultimately run him away. Another thing that we have to do as women is we need to not have expectations. We need to have more acceptance than expectations. And when we begin to put expectations on our men, a lot of times we're saying that to them that they are inadequate again. And again, respect is very important to men. If you can continue to respect your man, he'll stay around. And I'm talking not to people who don't want their man. I'm talking to women who really want to be with their husband or their mates. Another factor that we need to look at as women is that we realize there is a boy in every man. So there's a boy that's going to make an error and he's going to make a mistake. But even though he makes an error or makes a mistake, one of the things that we should not do as women is to constantly remind him of his error and of his mistake. We need to let bygones be bygones. If we are going to stay in a relationship, we need to let bygones be bygones. First of all, we need to forgive. We have to have an act of forgiveness, because the only person that suffers, especially if you're staying, if you're not staying, that's fine. But if you want to stay, you need to stay and have a peace within yourself. You don't want to stay and have unforgiveness. Even when there's infidelity and you choose to stay as a woman, nobody is judging you for staying. But if you choose to stay as a woman, you have to decide that I'm going to forgive him, and I am going to not consistently talk about that infidelity that has occurred. You have to begin to move on, not just for him, but also for yourself. Another factor is that we tend to talk to everyone that will hear us. I believe that your relationship is sacred unless it's just that you want to leave. Then it doesn't matter. And also sometimes you do have to talk. Sometimes when there is infidelity and there's abuse, which I don't necessarily agree with, but if you're choosing to stay, you need to talk. When you are being abused, you need to talk. When there's infidelity, don't cover up his infidelity sin. That's not something to be covered. Because when you cover it, you make it occur and occur and occur. You need to talk about it. You need to let his parents know. You need to let his friends know. You don't make it comfortable for a man to cheat. You never make it comfortable for him to cheat. Just like he should not make it comfortable for you to cheat. You know, we talk about men being cheaters, but we as women, we well know that we do cheat. And we do have affairs. And we do have infidelity. This is not just a man's thing. This is also a woman's thing. So how do we keep our mates from cheating, and how do we keep ourselves from cheating? Is we have to begin to get what we want and give what they want. So we have to be smart. You know, sometimes we don't want to work at our relationship, but we work on our jobs. We work with our kids. We figure out our kids. We figure out our bosses. But somehow, sometimes, we don't think our mates is worth the time. And as I said, if you don't think it's worth the time, this video is not for you. But if it's worth the time, you study your mate. There's nothing wrong with that, because you're choosing to stay. So if you're choosing to be in a relationship, you want the best relationship that you can have. So study your mate. That's another thing. Study your mate. Get to understand your mate. Listen to what he's saying. Listen to even the things you don't want to hear. Listen to the fact that he's saying, let's work out. We may not want to hear that. Listen to the fact that he's saying, when I come home and you're not working, why do I have to come home to a very untidy house? And then if that's his desire, get a maid. There's nothing wrong with a maid. But make your house a temple for both of you. Don't keep a house that is not comfortable for you or neither comfortable for him. Another thing, be a motivator, edifier. If you are an edifier, build up, don't tear down. Because a woman that tears down her house ultimately is not a wise woman. So don't tear your husband down every single day. Because when you tear him down, you are one. When you tear down your mate, you are tearing yourself down. So don't tear your house down. Build your house up. Build him up. And ultimately, you will be built up because you are one. And again, try, no expectations, acceptance, respect, have sex as many times as you want to, even start the process. I know sometimes it's difficult because you're so busy, you're so tired, the last thing that you want is sex, but it's not the last thing that he may want. So you gotta give and take in a relationship, or else somehow it becomes everyone is operating on a very vindictive, they're not giving what you want. You know, you're not getting what you want because you're not giving what I want. So forget what he's doing. You start to operate in a realm of love, appreciation, and respect.